the resurrection. Brixie stands up, Pit brought back to life, but Draxy's waiting, runs out of bullets.
No way!
There, but Draxy will get them all anyway. A 6-man ace for RRQ.
Like, you just have to almost prepare in your homework. The analysis has to be
How did that ult not
like,
kill? Dude,
where
Rizal
is their
terrible.
formation at like X minutes? So say it's like.
Yo, what's up? This is Stranger, the performance and mental coach for Team RRQ, Wildrift, and Valorant. And today we're going to be looking at a decision-making simplification process when looking at maps and how you can help improve your game by using these strategies. And this will be really good for coaches and players. And we're going to be looking at an example of PRX versus Fnatic, where you just see like Jing double satchel in and just wreak havoc on Fnatic. Sorry about the sound outside. I am in Southeast Asia right now before I return to Australia, and there is a lot of traffic outside, so apologies once again for that. And I absolutely loved the line during Hiko's stream where the coach of 100 Thieves, I don't know if he's a current coach or ex-coach, he was talking about doing the homework and analytics. And this is one way that you can simplify it and apply this into your own game and work it out. So without much to do, let's go and let's figure this out. So taking that example when Jing double satcheled in versus Fnatic. Let's take this map here on Ascent, and this is just like a map I got off Google. Usually the game starts here and here, and usually teams will do analysis of something like this. You know, like Jing double satchels in. And then the players here will have to converge over to this point to deal with the threat. Meanwhile, PRX, the other guys will walk in here, and they'll get the flank, and they'll get the kills, and all kinds of good stuff will happen, and you clear this area out. And that's generally how teams will do analysis during their scrims and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it works. It's pretty good, but what we can do is we can simplify it even more, and this is a really useful way to apply it not only for this map but in other maps, and it helps us understand the game in a more simple perspective. So for example, we take this point here. Jing ended up double satching to this point before he walked down here and ended up clearing up this space. So let's just put the dot down here that needs to be cleared, whereas on this side you have players walking through point A to point B. Once they reach this point down here, they also have sight, and they'll clear this area down here. So you just connect the dots. And these dots are going to be specific for the scenario that you want to do, and they don't have to be geometrically scaled to the map. You can put these dots anywhere. For example, the dot can be up here going down. It doesn't really matter, because the metric that we're looking at is time. How long does it take to get from point A to point B? And based on the clip, it took Jing 2 seconds to double satchel here to reach this point, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, and then he ended up walking down to this point down here to clear it, but we're taking this data point down here to clear the whole space, and that ended up taking an extra 3 seconds, which funnily enough is around the time that it takes for players to walk through here to here and sort of clear down here. So it's really good to match it up, and it roughly takes around 5 seconds. So we're going to look at time as a metric only. We're not going to look at like duels, risk factors, and all that kind of stuff. We'll look at that later on another map. Okay, so just keep that in mind and set that aside. That is the shape of the graph that we have. Now, PRX did a similar play where I'll show the clip.
PRX is like,
I don't know.
you don't have good practice against their comp, their style. So like, these guys are f***ing crazy. What the
In fact, I don't know.
What the How's he in there?
It's certainly going to get your spidey senses tingling.
Jing double satchels up until this point up here. Meanwhile, the players also converge from here, and this is on bind. And so it takes him time to hit up and double satch up here, and you just connect the dots through there. And I don't know how long it took him. Let's just say it took him like 6 to 7 seconds or something like that. And over here, therefore, you also have 6 to 7 seconds to make this play to converge at the same point. Okay. The important thing that we want to take with this is not actually the map itself, but the shape of these dots here. Okay. So we're gonna group this. We're gonna cut this and put it on a new page. We're gonna rotate it this way. Oh, the text also rotated, but that's fine. We don't need it. And then we're going to take this one from up here. we're going to rotate this down. And we're going to bring it down here. Okay. If you redraw it and you simplify it out, the shape of this is from point A to B with a single convergence. Okay, because that's the site that you want to clear. And that's the exact same thing from here to here. This is the convergence point down here, so I'll put that in a big circle so it's easier to see. So here, one line and another line to reach the convergence. Okay, why this is useful is because now you can, you know, take this basic concept of convergence and place this anywhere on the map where this is applicable for you. So say up here, you're pushing from, this is very popular here, also here, from pushing from here, you go from here to here, and you want to clear out the site here, essentially speaking. And then you also, you know, clear out hooker from here to here, and you clear out. So this also follows a similar pattern of convergence going through, but you can apply it from anywhere. Say you have a flanker coming from the side at the back here, the convergence happens the exact same way. So when you draw the whole map out, it's going to look crazy, right? There's going to be like lines everywhere connecting the whole thing together. You know, obviously. This is obviously not accurate. I'm just drawing lines for the sake of it. But what you can do is you can just take this graph. You know that people are holding from, you know, whatever positions. But now, taking this shape of convergence, you can look at what options are available to you and do the exact same shape to reach your objective and your point. So it takes a very macro scale thing, like you see the entire map, but if you want to get the specific objective and you have all the lines drawn out and mapped everywhere for everything that you need, you can take this one concept and then you can apply it to that specific position, and you can apply it anywhere on the map. You can apply it for different maps, and you can use it for different strategies. So you might find that different strategies, you know, I'm going to draw an arbitrary one, might look something like this, like some wacky strategy where you converge at 3 points and you go through many points and it looks like that. This is a complicated strategy, obviously. There's a lot of lines. It might not be applicable to a lot of maps, but more simple strategies you can apply at different maps in different areas. And this is cool because on Pearl, for instance, which is a really new map, a lot of people don't know how to deal with it yet. A lot of people don't know how to move. You can take concepts from other map and apply it to Pearl also and make it work. So it's a really good study tool. We were just looking at the concept of time there, but you can also use it for risk analysis, right? So for example, pushing through one side, you have a 50% chance of winning a duel here, but on this side, because of the favorability, maybe you have the right tools and equipment, the right mollies, all that kind of stuff that you can use. Your chance of winning this engagement is 70%. Whereas going on this side, you know, it might be 20% because someone is holding it with an op or something like that, so it's not good there. And then going up here, it might be higher, 40%. You can sort of calculate the probability that you can converge to the point and the success rates that you're going to have based on these maps only. So it's not just time-based. You can draw these maps out for other concepts also. So we're looking at going back here on this map here. Okay, let's clear this out, and we'll show you an example of how you can make that work for you. And a really similar thing simple thing that's going to happen is you're going to have an op up here, an opper up here. He's going to cover this spot down here, and he's also going to cover over to this spot over here. And so when you draw up the whole map of, you know, let's say people could be here, and then you also have the flankers to deal with, and you draw up all the lines connecting from here to here to here, out to here. Okay, if you have a jet, for example, that can get over here, or a ray satchel, then you can connect this line too. You have these options that are available through here. So you want to clear this guy out because you can't push in. He's close. That's not good for you. So the op guy up here is beaming down on these 2 points here and covering that. So you can make calculations. So what's your probability of winning this duel, right? So you have, you know, if you have a Spectre, it's really low. It's 20% or maybe even 10%. You don't want to take that. That's really bad. If you have a rifle, it might go up to 30% if your headshot percentage is good. If you have another op, it might go up to like 70% of winning that duel. So you can calculate the risk involved of pushing through there. Same with pushing through here. Depending on what util you have, you make different options. And so it's important because the usual play, of course, is what you're going to do is you're just going to smoke off this area, and that just, you know, frees up the area for you. So the opper can't be there anymore. Difficult. So that increases your options. Essentially what you want to do is you want to make more lines open available to you and less lines open available to your enemy. It's really that simple. The more options that you have, the better, but you can also add other metrics like your percentages of winning duels and all that kind of stuff if you want to, like, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you like. But in general, more options available to you, good. Less options available to the enemy, very good also. So you want to make sure that you strangle the opposition out, which is why PRX, with their big lurks and all this kind of stuff, they can be, you know, anywhere at any time. They have essentially more lines open to them. The more confused you are, the more saturated with information you are, the harder it is for you to make short decisions that are accurate and good, because your brain is saturated, and that leads to a decrease in brain function. The more stressed you are, the less capacity that you have for your brain to think. So by keeping more lines open to you and less lines open to the enemy, you can force more unforced areas and essentially win more engagements. So you can use this anywhere you want to, different games, you can use it in different strategies. It's just a concept that you can use. It's a good learning concept, and it's a good teaching concept. You can teach it to your players, you can use it to highlight why players make poor decisions. You can use it to study your own games and how you can improve. So this is really cool, and I think more coaches should use it, more gamers should use it, and it will help you improve your game.